come one, come all, those short, those tall. There may be some clowning around, but get an earful, all in all. No need for waivers, no need for saviors. Don't be frightened, do not hide. Enter now and enjoy the ride. So step right up, those far and near. The attraction is set. It's Ear for Fear.
Hi, welcome to the Ear for Fear podcast. This is the podcast that talks about scary movies or movies trying to be scary. I'm Rick. I got a few guests in the house. I got Shealee.
Hey, guys.
And I got AJ. AJ's first time on here. How are you guys?
I'm good.
Yeah. You know, I was thinking about this. I think the last time you came out, was that The Exorcist?
Yeah.
That was like...
It was either The Exorcist or The Shining.
Did we do The Shining? I don't think...
Yeah, we did.
We did?
Mm-hmm.
I was going through all the episodes... And I don't remember seeing that. I mean, I believe you.
Yeah, because
you were on The Shining.
It was my favorite movie. So
okay,
you guys had me
so
on
did we do that one after The Exorcist?
I don't remember.
Because either way, that was a while ago.
It was very long ago.
I want to say that was like maybe 4 years ago, maybe 5 years ago.
Yeah.
You know, I didn't realize that when Donovan and I first started this, we recorded the first episode. I think it was December 31st. Of 2019, because my birthday was the day prior, and we did the first episode was Happy Birthday to Me.
Oh yeah.
Which is one of my favorite 80s slashers, and I just kind of thought it was appropriate. But I didn't realize like that. I mean, that's going on 6 years.
Yeah, it's been a while.
I didn't feel like 6 years, honestly. I thought it was like I was telling someone the other day. I'm like, yeah, I do like a horror podcast. And I'm like, I've been doing it like 3 or 4 years. No, it's been almost like, I think it's 5.5 years.
Yeah.
Isn't that crazy?
That's crazy.
That's crazy. Anyways, well, thank you for coming on out. Today, we're going to be talking 2025's Final Destination, Bloodlines.
Won't stop till he finishes the job. Death is coming for our family.
That's so scary.
Spooky.
Yeah, that's my whole budget right there. Anyways, 2025's Final Destination Bloodlines. Let's do a quick synopsis. Plagued by a recurring nightmare, a college student returns home to find the one person who can break the cycle and save her family from their horrific fate. Okay, I guess right off the bat, before we jump into it, we'll do full spoilers. But before that, I want to, Shealee, you've been on before, but AJ hasn't.
Yeah.
And so I typically will, when I get a new guest on, I usually ask just some random kind of horror-related questions. And so since this is your first time, I'm going to do that.
Okay.
And they're fairly simple. You don't have to spend a ton of time on them. Your favorite horror movie, and tell me why.
Oh, I don't even know. Probably The Babadook.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
That's your favorite?
Yeah.
The kid didn't bother the hell out of you through the whole movie?
No, he did. The mom did too, though.
Yeah, that's true. They both did.
They both did.
Yeah. I only seen that one time, and I thought it was cool. I liked it, but I think the mom and the kid almost ruined it for me. Like I haven't revisited it, you know.
I think that's like part of the appeal, though.
Yeah,
just like
yeah, huh? Let's see. If you knew a doll was haunted, would you buy it?
Probably not.
No. Yeah, right.
I'm not really scared of dolls in movies.
No, they don't scare you.
No, but in real life, yeah, they're scary. But I like
if they were on it.
Like Annabelle didn't scare me. Chucky, not scary to me.
Yeah, no, I think the Chucky stuff, like early on, it was entertaining for me. I found it entertaining. It's funny. Yeah, it is. It is. I never found it scary.
Yeah.
Annabelle, I've said this in previous episodes. I felt that Annabelle worked as a just a kind of like a side story.
Yeah, like a
because it
solo.
was introduced in The Conjuring.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's almost like, to me, this is, and you guys probably not gonna understand what I'm talking about. You guys ever watch Saturday Night Live, SNL?
I've seen like clips.
Clips. Okay,
Yeah.
you probably seen them on YouTube. SNL's been around forever. I think this is like their 50th anniversary or something. So 50 years, right? They've made several movies along the way of some of their skits. Some of them have worked, but most of them have not, because they work in this small, condensed 5 to 7 minute thing.
Yeah.
When you try to make it an hour and a half, it doesn't work. That's what Annabelle was for me. It worked as a 5 to 10 minute like side story in the original Conjuring, and then they try to make a bunch of movies, and I just didn't think they were that great.
I think the first one was okay,
You think it was all right?
Yeah.
It was okay.
but after that,
Yeah.
like we're gonna start watching all the Conjuring movies
Are
because
you?
the new one's coming out.
Yeah, that new one. Yeah.
We're watching like the universe in chronological order.
Oh, okay.
So we
So
just,
the, like the Nun.
yeah,
and
we
all
just
the,
watched the Nun,
Yeah.
and then
Annabelle's
tonight
Creation is
Annabelle
next.
Creation. I'm not
Yeah.
too thrilled about it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't really care for Annabelle.
I thought the first, again, the Nun as a little side story works for
The
me.
Nun's good.
I
Yeah,
thought
I
the
think
Nun
the Nun's good too.
I thought the first one was okay.
Yeah,
Have
it
you
was
guys
cool.
watched the second one?
I've seen the second one.
I've seen the
God,
second
I
one.
thought it was trash.
Yeah.
I thought it was so bad. Yeah. All right. Third question. If you're given the death penalty, what is your last meal?
Ass and chicken.
Yeah, probably not that. Actually, it'd probably be. I don't know. That what we had at Hell's Kitchen was good.
Yeah.
The
What'd you guys
lobster
have?
risotto.
Lobster
that was
risotto,
good.
we had
That was
crab.
good.
Yeah.
We had the Wagyu meatballs.
Yeah. It was good.
Yeah,
was
it was
good.
so good.
Really?
That bill was real high though.
Oh, I bet it was. Yeah.
Yes.
Where was this? Hell's Kitchen?
Hell's Kitchen
Yeah, in
in
Tahoe.
Tahoe.
Oh, just your guys' recent trip?
Yeah.
I don't know if I've ever. Which part of Tahoe? South or?
It's in South. It's in
I always get South, and is South the one where all the kind of the casinos are?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's
I
like-
like that area.
it's
like
like
in
in
a casino,
Harvey's.
yeah.
It's in the casino?
Harvey's, I think.
Oh, it's
or
in
It's like,
Harrah's.
it's like a hotel, casino,
Yeah.
restaurant.
Hell's
thing.
Kitchen, huh?
Yeah.
It was good.
Yeah, it
good.
was so good.
It was so good. Oh, nice.
I've been to Gordon Ramsay Burger in Vegas too, and
Oh, okay,
it's
Mr.
pretty
that
good.
was
Vegas.
pretty good.
Yeah, it's good.
Yeah.
But
Cool.
yeah, lobster risotto, maybe Alfredo
Alfredo.
or like vodka.
Can't do the Alfredo stuff. That tears me up.
Well, yeah, I mean, I'm gonna die anyway. So.
Yeah, you know what? I guess so, right? Let them deal with the mess. If it was
Right.
me, you know.
Right.
I mean, yeah.
A zombie attack. What weapon are you using for your choice? How are you going to survive, man?
I really like The Last of Us, like
Yeah.
the game, and I would probably be like super stealthy and like, I don't know, like a 22 rifle. It's my favorite gun to I've ever shot, so I'd probably use that.
Yeah, just make sure you have a bunch of shells.
Yeah, hunting rifle of some sort. Where
Something,
I can, like,
yeah.
hide in the bushes and be from afar.
Yeah. I always thought, like, you see a bunch of movies and it's like, okay, well, they have like, I don't know, like a crossbow or a sword or something. And I'm like, I don't know. I felt like I could be overtaken real easy with that.
Like a
right?
melee weapon or something. Would
Yeah,
work very
because
well.
I mean, I in order for a sword to work, they have to be close to you,
Right.
right?
And then crossbows take forever to reload.
There you
But
go.
a
There you
sword,
go.
if you have like a whole horde of zombies, a sword isn't going to do much.
Right.
Yeah, it doesn't.
Like you're going to kill like maybe 3 and then you're going to get
Exactly. Yeah.
probably long range, keep my distance, you know?
Yeah.
Oh, hell yeah.
Definitely.
Yeah. All right, last one. Do you believe in hell? And if so, what does hell look like?
Ooh. Well, I don't know. I do.
You religious? You a religious person?
No. I'm like, yeah, no, not religious really.
Yeah, me neither.
Like spiritual, I guess. Like
Yeah,
I believe in a higher power, but
Yeah, I think that's how I fall on the spectrum, right? Like I believe in something. I just don't know what it is.
Yeah.
We've done a lot of episodes where it kind of delves into religion, and we've kind of gone down little rabbit holes with that. I never begrudge anyone for believing in
no,
it.
definitely not.
I don't know. I don't know what it looks like.
I think
and hell, I'm not sure if I believe in hell. I'll be honest.
Yeah,
like
I don't know.
I don't know. Like, I don't know. I mean, I go through life and I try to do good things, but I don't do it because I'm worried about hell. I just do it because I think that's just how I am.
Yeah.
Right?
Exactly.
Being a good person.
Yeah, just being a good person, right?
Yeah.
You know, add to society. And so I don't know though, what, you know, like for instance, and I don't want to get all morbid, but like, you know, let's say someone takes their own life, you know, they talk about them going to hell because they did that. Like, I don't know.
I think it's, I don't want to get like too into that, but I just feel like it's just a way to make someone feel guilty.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Like saying like, oh, you're going to go to hell if you commit suicide. I just feel like it's like trying to guilt trip someone. Like, I feel like if someone wants to do that, instead of saying you're going to go to hell, like maybe give them support.
Yeah.
And
Give
like
them some
actual
help.
real life
Right.
reasons.
Right?
Yeah.
Of like,
Why you shouldn't, not just, oh, you're going to go to hell if you do that.
Yeah. I don't know, man. I feel like when especially when it comes to religion, and I hate to say this, but there's just a lot of hypocrites out there.
Yeah.
Like, they preach one thing and they do another, and
sure.
it annoys the hell out of me, man.
Yeah, me too.
Like, I'm cool with if you're consistent
Right.
with something, whatever that is, whatever it falls, you know, that category, and that's the route you want to go and the path you want to take. I'm okay with that as long as you're consistent. It's when you become inconsistent and you become a hypocrite towards shit, you know, that's the stuff that bothers me.
Yeah.
You know,
Me too.
Yeah, but that's it, man. That was pretty painless, huh?
Yeah. Oh.
You know, still surprised about the Babadook though. I don't know.
I think, I don't know. I'm trying to like still think. I really like Insidious.
Yeah, that first
Those are-
one's really
yeah.
good.
I like Sinister.
Sinister's good too.
Sinister's good.
Yeah, the first one.
Yeah.
The first one with me with Insidious, because when you start explaining all the other stuff, I don't care about that. I always like kind of the unknown.
The first Insidious
Yeah,
was
it's just,
scary.
I feel like a lot of movies, like especially like in like the horror genre, they just drag them out so much.
They
Yeah.
do
It's
it
just
all
like,
the time.
I feel like it just comes like into like a cash grab, and then it's
What?
just like not good anymore.
So I'm glad you brought that up. Okay,
Yeah. It's a good
because
topic.
because with blood, you know, hold on, full spoilers.
1, 2, spoilers coming for you.
All right, so you guys recommended this. You guys, you know, because you guys were going to see this, and you wanted to do an episode, and I'm down. I'm always down to do an episode, and I didn't realize it had been 14 years since the fifth one came out of Final
Oh,
Destination.
I didn't even know that.
I didn't realize
I
it was
didn't realize
14
it's been a
years.
long
It didn't.
time.
I'll be honest.
Yeah.
It didn't feel like 14 years.
no,
for
it
me.
definitely didn't.
Right.
But it's been a long time.
It didn't feel like 14 years. I don't know what it felt like. To me, it felt like maybe like 7 or 8 years. But no, it's been 14, and I'm like, wow. And I understand why they took a break, because the series had become kind of stagnant. It was kind of the same.
Yeah.
It was
Same
kind of the
premise.
same.
It was just
It
different
always is.
characters.
Pretty much. And, you know, it wasn't that I didn't enjoy the first 5. The only one I didn't care for was the 3D one, and that's kind of the consensus with everybody. It's like the 3D one wasn't that great. It wasn't that it was awful. It just wasn't as good as the other ones.
I feel like most 3D horror movies.
They're dumb.
just
When
Oh,
3D's, when 3D's in the title.
yeah.
It's bad.
Not
You can go
promising.
back to the 80s and, you know, like they did Friday the 13th Part 3 in 3D. If you remove the 3D gimmick from it, it's not a bad movie. They did that with Jaws. They did it with Amityville. I mean, they did a ton of these,
Yeah.
and they just never were that good. And I'm not a fan of 3D anyway, especially with my awful, horrible eyes. I can't watch 3D. I can't do it.
yeah.
And so, but the fifth one I thought was fine. Like, I felt it wrapped the series up.
Yeah.
I just didn't feel like this was necessary. So then it comes back to what you said. Why else do it? Well, it's about money, right? That's what this is. This
I
is
mean,
just
yeah, definitely. I do think I was thinking about it, and I was thinking maybe this movie kind of ties into like the first chain of events that happened. Because like in the movie, they talk about, you know, it happened at the Skyview, and then all of these people went and they had families, people that survived, right?
Yeah.
So maybe like I don't know if that's true, but I was considering like if this was the first ever event where like someone saved a bunch of people from death, maybe the first 5 movies were the families that
I was thinking the same
were
thing.
supposed to get to it.
I think that's what they're. I
Trying
think
to
that's
do.
what they're saying.
Yeah.
Yeah. But to me, I don't know. I'm not saying that it's lazy. I'm not saying that. I just didn't need all of that. I felt like it was their easy route to go, okay, how can we do a 6th one and then try to tie them all together.
Yeah, they just didn't want to.
And I didn't need that.
Yeah.
I will say there's stuff in this movie that I did enjoy. The prologue, the beginning at that Space Needle.
Yeah.
That shit was great.
That was
crazy.
It was really cool.
It was cool.
Like I enjoyed that. I had a good time with that. I think where it started to lose me is the movie. It was boring at times, like an hour. I think this was an hour and 50 minutes.
Yeah.
This doesn't need to be an hour and 50 minutes. This is an hour and a half. You get it. You get in, you get out.
Right.
You do what you need to do. I felt like they drug stuff.
They did.
Like we knew people were going to die, but they just drug it out. And then they tried to like dupe us at times. Like, oh, the one guy that was his name, Eric.
Yeah.
Eric, yeah.
It's like, oh, Eric's going to die. He's definitely going to die. And then we find out that he's not even like
pointless.
biological.
Yeah, that was my
the
biggest
plot hole.
rub the first time I watched it. It was coming out of it, I thought that was completely pointless. I get it was probably for like shock value, like, you know, but it was just like, why make it seem like this character is going to die? Then we're like, oh no, he's not even part of death's list. Like, and then he dies anyway.
Well,
And then he dies.
And I
And then he
understand,
dies
like-
anyways.
I think Eric died because he
He
was
fucking
getting in the
with death.
way.
Right. I
And that's why she
understand that
says
was the
it right
reason.
after.
Like, oh, when
Yeah.
you
So you
fuck
think
with death,
that?
shit gets messy.
Well,
but
yeah, because right after, Stephanie's like when they're outside the hospital,
Yeah.
she says exactly what JB said.
if you
like,
fuck with
if you
death,
fuck
shit
with
gets
death,
messy.
it'll get messy or something like that.
Okay. I mean, I didn't have an issue with them dying.
I just thought it was dumb. I don't know.
I
I
just-
just
It
I felt
didn't
like it
need
didn't
to
need to happen.
I felt like, I kind of felt like we knew he was eventually probably going to die anyways. So, you know, you set that whole thing up in the tattoo shop and then,
Right.
and then he somehow survives it, even though the whole building blows up.
And that's what I mean. I feel like they either should have had him die in the tattoo shop or not die at all. I personally think that's what
Yeah.
they should have
Like
done. And I
like,
think like with the way that they set up the whole like tattoo shop thing, I feel like that would have been a cool death. Like, not to say his death wasn't cool. Yeah, being sucked into an MRI machine and having a wheelchair punctured through your stomach. That was
cool. It was
But
cool.
it's like, I feel like it also could have been cool with like, you know, the chain on his septum piercing. Like, because I have my own septum piercing. The
Yeah.
whole time I'm watching that, I'm holding on to it for dear life. Oh my gosh. I just feel like, and I think it was also pointless because it's like, if he's not part of the bloodline, then why did all that shit even happen in the tattoo shop? Like, if he's not even like blood related to,
Yeah.
you know,
Definitely.
Paul
I
or
agree
Iris.
with you.
Like, I don't think that any of it, because
a
it was
plot
so scripted and put as death was coming for him. Like, it wasn't even like, oh, he just like slipped and fell and like almost died. Like, it was like, no, all of these chain event sequences, like they all happen, and then like it's building up to, oh, he's gonna die. Like the chain on his septum and the acid or the cleaning shit falling over.
Yeah.
Like, it was all so like sequence of events that is very related to how death goes about the way he kills people. So it was like, to find out like that all happened and then find out, oh, he wasn't even part of the bloodline. It just doesn't make sense.
Well, it's kind of like a slap to the audience's face, right? Because we're thinking, okay, well, he's definitely going to die here. He's the next one,
Right.
And then when all the other stuff happens, it's almost like we're duped. Like, and I'm like, don't do that,
Right.
Because it's like you build something up to us and then you pull it away, and then you try to play the whole, well, I cheated on your dad and or whatever, you know, the guy you thought was your dad for however old this Eric guy is. He's 20 something, you know, this is really not your dad. Well, I had an affair. And it's like, really?
I don't, and I feel like if they wanted to do that, I feel like they could have gone about it like in literally any other way. Like,
I agree. Like there were certain things in this, as a whole, like, you want to feel for some of these characters, like in the first couple films, especially the first film, I felt for some of these characters. Like, I'm like, oh shit, we know they're gonna eventually die, and I feel bad when they do.
right.
I never really felt bad for anybody.
I honestly think the only person I kind of felt for was Bobby, surprisingly, because like when Stephanie first came to the family and was like, this is all what's going to happen, I feel like Bobby was
He's
the only one that
believed
her at first, and then
Yeah.
like all of the cousins and his siblings were like, no, don't believe this shit. But I feel like he wanted to believe her, and then like when he found out he was next,
Yeah.
like he was just like wanting, like, Stephanie, help me, you know what I mean? So like I think when he died, that was the only death that I was like, damn, like that kind of sucks.
Yeah, because the sister was just, I get it. I mean, Stephanie goes away to college. She kind of forgets about everybody. And she becomes kind of, I'm not going to say a bitch, but I can understand them being kind of mad at her.
Yeah.
But I didn't feel for the sister at all.
Yeah, Julia was annoying. I
she
thought
was
she was
annoying.
annoying from the
She was
jump.
a bitch.
Yeah,
I
I didn't feel for her.
Like her whole introduction, like just basically blowing off Stephanie to talk to Charlie, and then like when Stephanie was trying to talk to Charlie, like basically blowing her off again, and just only I immediately, like right out the gate, was like, okay, well, Julia's a bitch. We don't like her.
Yeah.
So I wasn't even sad when like the fucking soccer ball hit her head and she's in the fucking back of a
she was
garbage
in the
truck.
garbage truck.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I thought it was funny though.
That part was funny.
It was funny
honestly.
because it was literally what Stephanie was saying.
Yeah.
Like, I see this happening, you know. But my problem with that is like all of a sudden she's this. She barely knows grandma. She gets this binder, and all of a sudden she can somehow piece together what's going to transpire.
Yeah, that was also kind of weird.
It was kind of weird because I could see if they had somehow, like, she's in college, right? Like maybe she's solving a puzzle, or we just know she's really smart.
Right.
And maybe somehow that plays in down the road where she can piece stuff together, but there was none of that.
Even if like they had spent a little bit more time showing her like really studying the book that grandma gave her. You know what I mean? Like I feel like they just had her like the most that we saw was she's putting the timeline of all the families that died on the wall.
That's
and
about
then
it.
like that's literally it. And then all of a sudden she like sees the tree thing and then the leaf blower and the soccer ball and then like she just knows like that.
Yeah.
I feel like if they spent more time showing her studying it and figuring out how to spot patterns,
that's what I'm
then
saying.
it would have been more reasonable.
They easily could have. It could have been either with grandma's book or, like I said, something in college. She's in college.
Right.
Give me 30 seconds of her solving something, an equation or a puzzle, or
Right, like maybe
we
she has
know
like
she's smart.
majoring in something.
It could. You know what it could have been? It could have been something. Yeah. It could have been when the professor asks to talk to her, you know, they show 30 seconds of dialogue. Hey, you know, I know you're brilliant, or blah, blah, blah. And then at least we have something. We have nothing.
Right.
Okay, you're in college. Well, a lot of people are in college. It doesn't mean you're smart. Yeah.
Literally.
You know, but then all of a sudden she's solving this. It's those little things that bothered me.
Yeah.
Like when it got to the, like I said, the prologue was fantastic. I would almost argue is probably maybe, in my opinion, I think the best one. If the airplane one was pretty cool, and so the logging one was pretty cool too, because we talked about that. Like anytime I'm on the freeway and I see logs,
no.
I'm either getting off the freeway or I'm getting around them like as quickly as possible.
Yeah, I don't fuck with that.
But this one was good. Like I like the fact that they played into this whole Space Needle idea.
Yeah. I think honestly that opening scene was the best scene in the movie.
It was
for sure,
easily the best.
Yeah,
easily the best. It was.
And
it was. I
like
was very
right out the
entertained.
gate, you know, like first thing you see, like because you know some of the other movies like you have a little bit of time before they go into like the premonition. Mm-hmm. But like this one, it was like straight in it, like
straight into it.
Even when they're pulling up and like you hear on the radio like the Ring of Fire song, like, it's like already foreshadowing. And then the kid in the fountain getting the penny, like
he's like, "Oh, that's bad luck."
Yeah, like it's like all these little things that are like foreshadowing what's gonna happen, and then they just like throw you into it. Yeah, and it's like the whole scene was crazy. It was insane.
They do a good job at that, like the subliminal messages. Like right when they're about to fall from the needle, the song that the guys are listening to, the valet guys, is like something about raindrops falling on my head.
Oh yeah,
yeah.
And then it's just like, you know, the bodies just fall.
Yeah. No, it was good. It was good. I did enjoy that. I ask you guys this, and maybe because you guys have seen this twice, I only seen it the one time, and maybe I'll pick up more stuff on a second viewing. Tony Todd, rest in peace. His character, the little boy at the beginning, he dies second to last or last?
He dies
in the premonition.
He dies last.
He dies last. Okay,
Iris
but then
dies first.
So Iris dies, which is the grandmother.
Yeah.
So he dies right after her, but then in the movie we know he's sick. But why didn't death?
I think he was trying to explain it, and I think they also did that too. And like, you know, all these people that were supposed to die that night went on and had families, so death had to come for their families first. So because Iris had a family, you know, she had kids, and then her kids had kids. Death had to get through her whole bloodline first
before it can come to Tony Todd's character.
Yes.
Is that okay?
And he was saying that. He was like, you guys are all going to die, and then it's going to be my turn next.
Okay. See, and I think that's where an initial viewing I would catch more stuff.
Yeah.
It's hard when I'm only seeing it once. Okay, then I'm okay with that. But let me ask you this. Okay. So Stephanie goes to see grandmother, right? She lives in the middle of in the forest.
Yeah.
I have two issues here. Why, if you know death is coming for you, why is your compound, your home, riddled with shit that would kill you?
Yeah, that was one of my first thoughts.
Like
all the spikes and
all
shit.
the spikes and wood. And it was like, okay, the little pond with water almost looked like a moat or something. It was everywhere you went. It was something that could eventually impale her or kill her.
Right.
If you are so worried about death, why is your house surrounded by that?
Yeah.
Also, it doesn't really make any sense of her. Like, she can't hide from death. Like, those spikes aren't going to do anything. Like, the gate isn't going to stop death from getting to you.
And my main thing, too, with that was, like, how are you going to fortify a cabin to prevent death? And, like, they show it in the movie. Mm-hmm. Like, she fucking hits the little light, the magnifying glass wrong. And then, like, the rope starts burning. It's like, yeah, sure, you know the pattern. But, like, even your cabin at a certain point isn't safe. Anything could happen in your cabin. I mean, I'm like looking at her pulling up a chair for Stephanie. I'm like, shit, that chair could fucking wheel pop off and then boom.
Yeah.
Like
you
it's
hit
so
the back
many
of your
different
head
things.
or whatever
Right.
the hell it is. Yeah.
It's like, I don't understand how like her cabin was the one safe place from death.
And she said she hadn't left in 20 years.
Yeah. And like the second she steps outside, and also like she had in her book, like, the little like the directional thing and the fire extinguisher and all these things, and it's like, okay, so you could have easily hopped outside real quick and took the fire extinguisher inside. Like you could have there were so many things that you could have done to prevent what you thought was going to happen.
Let me ask you this, because I was thinking about this earlier. She had to die
to prove,
but she had to die before the rest of them.
Right.
Okay. What if you had survived death for this whole time? You only met your granddaughter for 2 seconds.
Right.
You felt it necessary to give her this binder, because if you survived 20 years, who's to say you're not surviving another 20 years, and that prolongs their death? But you felt it was necessary to prove a point. To prove that this was real.
One of the things that I like really had it rubbed me the wrong way, because it's like, okay, like she's so worried about Stephanie, like saying she has to stay there, and when Stephanie's like the only way for her to prove that it was real was to die and then now have the rest of the family up on the chopping block. It was like, these are the people like your daughter and your son, Howard and Darlene, like you were trying to protect them your entire life from death, and now you're gonna die and pass the curse on to them.
Basically put a bullseye on them once she died.
It was like, you could have
I have a problem with that.
Yeah,
she could have survived for 20 more years.
Yeah, and like even if she had the cancer diagnosis, like she still had a few months to like,
and stuff changed. This is the thing. Okay, if we're to believe that the cancer she had, there was no cure, and she had, I think she said she had a few months. Okay,
yeah, she had 2 months.
She had 2 months, but we all know that sometimes cancer just goes into remission. Like, it does happen, and so if there was no way out, and this you were not going to get better, then okay, maybe I could see that, but
I just
feel
feel like. Because Stephanie, like, if she talked to Stephanie a little bit more before doing that, like, and maybe was not as fucking crazy with the way she went about it, like, I feel like if she was calmer in her approach to Stephanie and maybe took more time to explain and actually teach Stephanie, like, this is what's going on, and give her more proof than just, I'm gonna die right in front of you so you can see. Like, you could have given her the proof. You could have opened that fucking binder and showed her the timeline of all of the people that were there and their families dying. Like, if I saw that, I would have been like, okay, I'm on board.
Well, especially
I don't need to watch you die in front of me.
Especially if Stephanie for 2 months is having the
same dream every night.
And it's obviously taken a toll on her.
And when she finds out, like when she goes to get the letter from the box in her uncle's house, like she sees the picture that was in her dream of Iris and Paul. Like that alone would have been like, okay, I dreamed that picture and now it's actually a real picture.
For
sure. It should be
believable enough.
It should be like,
it should.
I think that it was kind of annoying when Stephanie went for answers and then got an answer and then
she
was
bailed.
like, I don't believe you.
Yeah, and bailed immediately.
Yeah.
For the sake
like,
of the
I get
movie.
being freaked out, but like, come on.
to me, it's always like convenience in these movies, right? I get it. If they thought like we are thinking, there's not a movie, right?
Right.
So I understand. I use this all the time. We suspend belief, right? We have to suspend belief in these movies, and I'm fine with that. There's just certain things with this one especially. I had some, and again, maybe a second viewing solves some of my problems with it. I don't think it changes the pace for me. An hour and 50 minutes is just too long.
Yeah.
If I'm going to sit down and watch The Exorcist or something, The Shining, I know that's going to be 2 hours plus. That's fine because you have so much character development, right?
Yeah.
You're getting into the depths and there's different layers. We don't need layers in Final Destination. We know what's going on here.
Right.
Cut
We
out
had
20
5
minutes of
movies.
this movie and I probably would have liked it more. I just felt it was so slow to get to stuff.
Yeah,
and then
I was
it's
about
like,
to say that.
oh, they're trying to, again, dupe us on Eric. I don't need that. I don't need any of that stuff. And then other stuff, some of the dialogue was just dumb. Like, I can't remember some of the stuff, but one of the things Stephanie said, and we were talking about this before. I don't remember what it was, but it was just like I just laughed.
She was
I giggled.
like,
It
death
was
has a plan, but I can't figure out what it is.
yeah, but it wasn't even that. It was some cheesy line.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh my God, this is dumb. And it was that type of stuff. Like their dad, what purpose did he serve in the movie? None.
Literally
Yeah.
none.
None at all. The dad was just there.
Yeah.
At least with the other dad,
Howard.
he served a purpose.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Marty was very much just there. He
was
was
just
just he
there.
was there to be like, oh, don't traumatize my children
Yeah,
more,
he was just
Darlene.
there to-
oh.
Yeah,
Like
that
and
was
it.
it was so
Darlene.
pointless. Like
Yeah.
I don't understand having his character. And in the aunt too, low key.
Yeah.
Like-
Yeah, she
She
just
on-
never comes back after
after
her two
Julia
kids
dies.
died.
After Julia dies, she never comes back.
And then this is the thing too. It's like she loses her husband, then loses her daughter, and she didn't seem. I'm not going to say she seemed normal, but in that circumstance, she would be hysterical. She
Right.
couldn't even get through a day. It's just that's so devastating.
Yeah, especially like also like we never saw her again after Julia died and she admitted that she had an affair.
Yeah.
We never saw her again.
I don't think
if
we
it was
did,
like
did we?
if it was like a real like she devastating death like that, like she wouldn't have let her other kids out of her sight. She wouldn't have
Yeah.
let Bobby and Eric leave ever.
That's true.
Yeah,
Like
she
and,
kinda
and she just
She
disappeared.
just left after she told him that
Yeah.
It was
it was an
Jerry
affair.
Fenbar,
Yeah.
whatever the
And then
fuck.
we never saw her.
We
again.
never saw her again.
Yeah,
And then there wasn't like even after everything calmed down and they thought that Stephanie like died and came back like and they were getting ready for Charlie's little like prom thing.
Yeah.
Like even then they didn't even touch on her. Like there wasn't any sort of moment where they were like grieving Bobby and Eric dying.
So let me ask you this. Okay. I want to dive into this. Okay. So Iris saves all these people.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Death usually works pretty fast though.
Yeah.
And none of these people realize death is after them. Well, it took 50 years. It literally took 50 years because if you think about it, okay, Iris saves everybody. And what was her fiance? Was it Charlie? What was
Paul.
So she saves Paul. Well, how long until Paul died? Was it immediate? Because we know in all these other movies it's immediate.
Well, there was a picture when Stephanie visited her.
It was
a
Paul
picture
holding the baby.
baby.
Okay, that's
so-
at least 10 months.
right.
Okay, so
But I
it
think
took,
I think there was people that had died before Paul. in her
okay,
premonition.
and that's fine. So, but I mean, it took 50. How we know if we are to base it off of the fact that the previous 4 movies were all the families, right? Okay, all right, we're gonna go back. Let's go back. I don't know when the first Final Destination movie came out. We know the 5th one was 14 years ago. So let's call it 18 to 20 years, okay? And let's just say it's within our current time frame. So it took 30 years to get to that? Like I'm trying to understand. Death usually moves pretty fast.
Yeah.
We know in all the films it moved quickly through
Well,
the
if we're
course of a
gonna-
day or two. So don't tell me it's going to take 30 plus years.
If we're
to-
gonna go off of though, like if it is supposed to be like those the previous 5 films were the families that were at the Skyview, like we have to, you know, there was definitely, because a lot of the people in like the first 5, you know, that died were like teenagers. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. So I would say it had to have been like a situation where some, you know, because there was like hundreds of people that she saved. She said she's like saved like hundreds of people. You know,
sure.
So hundreds
the
of people.
The timeline was huge too.
Yeah, the timeline is huge. Like hundreds of people having children and having like those people grow up.
But that's what I'm saying.
But if you're thinking of it like that, if hundreds of people are having children, that's going to take a long time because they're trying to get to all of the now offsprings,
and
if
they
you
have
will.
to follow an order.
They have to follow an order. So if there's a bunch of
kill.
siblings too, you know what I mean? If there's a bunch of siblings that happen, and then those siblings grow up,
but it would
it
only be the ones that were born after this happened.
Right.
It wouldn't be like, okay, we saved this 70-year-old, and it would literally be him and let's say his wife. They're not having any more kids, and it's not going to go after their other kids because that has nothing to do with the timeline.
But
like I just feel like
if Iris was there pregnant, we can't say that, oh, no one else was there that was also pregnant. And then, you know, there's a possibility that other women that were at the Skyview were pregnant also.
Sure.
I mean, it's a stretch, but like if we're going to...
It's a possibility.
It's a possibility, you know? Like
sure,
they could have been far along.
It's plausible. I just don't know how... I don't know. Sure, I guess. Do you believe in that? You think that it would take 50 years to catch up?
Well, I mean, if you think about it, like I feel like it seemed like in a day or two, you know, like all these people died in the other movies, but like I think that's just for the sake of making the movie like as short, if you will, that it can be. But I think if we're gonna talk like about that, like there were days that had passed in between deaths, you know, and even in this one, like days had gone by in between everyone's deaths.
Yeah.
Sure, but not a ton of time.
No, not a ton of time.
And my issue too towards the end, and I mean we can jump around here, but so what was the brother's name? Is it Charlie? So Charlie supposedly saves Stephanie from this death. But we come to realize, well, that wasn't the case. She was never dead. Well, how much time had passed between the
they've
prom?
done that. They do that in the other ones.
Again, but death usually doesn't fuck around.
But they've done that in all of the other ones.
But that's my issue.
Surprising.
But that's my issue though. Is
I mean,
death
sure,
isn't?
yeah.
It's not like death's on vacation.
Yeah.
Hey, I'm gonna go hit the spa this weekend. I'm gonna take 2 days off, and
well, I think
that's my issue with it.
It doesn't rub me the wrong way just because it has been like that in all of the other movies. You know what I mean? Like, I think that's just like how they have it go about. You know what I mean? So that doesn't really rub me the wrong way that like it took Death, like, oh, they thought. And I think that could have also been Death playing with them. You know what I mean? Like toying with them a little bit. Oh, you think that you got a way around this. You think you cheated me. You know what I mean?
So you think Death is messing with them?
Yeah,
yes.
I do.
Do you?
I also think that's valid because remember when Julia died? Stephanie predicted it right before. I think Death knew. Stephanie already knew.
Right.
So he did that on purpose to be like, haha, you guessed it and you still couldn't stop it.
Right. I think a lot of what Death does is very like, oh, I'm gonna fuck with you. I'm gonna play with you first. Like with the whole fucking, all of the little signs that they'll give you, you know what I mean? But they're not the things that happen, like, oh, you think that this is what's gonna kill you. Nope, you're wrong. And I think he does it on purpose.
I also think that's why Death never takes the easy route. It's always like some stupid, elaborate way to die.
Yeah.
Right. Like having the fucking MRI machine go off and then like, it started with a whole fucking vending machine. It could have just, if Death wanted to go the easy route, they could have literally just had Eric fucking with the vending machine and then it falls on top of Bobby.
They make you think that too because on the front of the vending machine there's a sticker that says please don't tilt.
Don't
right.
hit it, and it
so
cracks
it's like,
and all
like there's these little things that like Death does that makes you think, oh, like, because first time I watched it, I was like, oh shit, the vending machine's going to fall on Bobby. Yeah. And then it didn't. You know what I mean?
They try to make it predictable and then do the opposite.
Yeah.
I don't know though. Like I felt in the other movies not so much. I felt like this one seemed to go a different route, and that's what you guys are referring to.
I don't think so.
I kind of do though.
Because let's not forget about maybe like in one of the earlier movies, there was the gym scene where the guy is fucking working out, and you think that the swords are gonna be the thing that, you know, on the wall. Nope. Swords didn't do shit. The fucking thing that killed him was the weights. They fucking crushed his head. And then there's also the gymnast.
If I remember correctly, it was because the swords cut the wire.
But there was the gymnast.
Okay,
too.
but I'm just saying. I mean, the swords did cut. But so
did the vending machine. When they did that with the vending machine, the spring came out.
Yeah.
And the spring was the
Sure,
thing that
I
finally ended Bobby.
And Bobby would have lived without the spring too because he got his EpiPen.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I understand that.
There's the gymnast
I don't
from
know.
one of
I
the
think you're
earlier
giving
movies
Jeff
who-
too much credit here. That's what I think.
I'm just trying
And maybe
to...
it's a difference of us, like an age gap. Like
Yeah.
only maybe because I've seen a million of these types of movies and I look at it differently, or maybe it's just because I'm older and I'm more. I think I'm more.
You're more senile.
Definitely more senile. But I just think I don't know. Like, I'm not as forgiving as I used to be with horror movies.
Oh, yeah.
I go into each one with an open mind. I don't go into one going, oh my God, it's got to be this or this. I think I expect something, and then when I don't get it, I guess I'm a little disappointed. It's not that this is a bad movie.
Yeah.
This is entertaining. Like, I was entertained.
Yeah.
Not the whole movie. Like I said, shave 20 minutes off and don't try to do certain things with this movie, and I'm good. I'll tell you my issues, and it's the same issues I've had with some of the other movies in this series. There's too much CGI.
Yeah.
I am a practical effects. I love practical effects. I understand that it's more expensive to do practical effects. I get that. I get that. And there are some practical effects in this movie.
Yeah.
But some of the CGI stuff that they did, you could tell is CGI.
Yeah.
Like when she gets crushed in the garbage truck.
Yeah. There was like at the beginning in the prologue, it's like, okay, yeah. Like the one guy that's trying to get on the elevator at the beginning, and the elevator comes and basically cuts him in half.
Yeah.
Like I've seen other movies that do that really well.
Yeah.
And it looks I mean, I guess as real as it's gonna look, right?
Yeah.
I've noticed with the Final Destination kills that I would say half of them look really good, and then the other half they look just kind of ugh.
Yeah, like
and
the,
to
the
me,
garbage truck kill.
it was fine for what it was.
I mean,
But-
Was anything
Iris
special?
getting her fucking finger like degloved like that, you could tell like it was uncomfortable to watch because ouch, but like you could tell it was CGI.
Yeah.
You could
Yeah,
tell.
yeah.
Like the way that her like fucking like
Skin.
like all like
Yeah.
bundled up like it was like rubber. It's,
Yeah,
you know, it's like
yeah.
things like that.
I don't know if you guys noticed this, but I feel like in these movies nowadays, I've seen some really cool like creative kills.
Yeah.
I brought this up. In A Violent Nature comes to mind. I don't know if you guys have seen the yoga kill, but it was crazy good. Like it was very crim. Like I've never seen that before. How many times do we have to see someone get squished by something or splat? It just felt like almost every movie had this.
Yeah.
And in this movie alone, it was almost like the same thing. It was like we kept seeing the same type of, almost like the same type of kill.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like, give me something different. Like I thought the MRI machine or whatever that was
That was
cool,
really
right?
smart.
I enjoyed when I forget the one, the kid that was allergic to peanuts.
Yeah, when the
Bobby.
spring came through
And it was, like, rotating
and it
still.
was rotating.
and like squishing his brain.
And I'm
shit.
like, okay, I doubt that would happen, but I guess we could argue that could happen
It's so-
because
yeah.
it is metal and
And it's so cool.
magnetic, you know.
yeah, right. So yeah, I mean, so some of the kills were cool. And
I
then
think
other-
Darlene's death was really lame
Can
with
I-
the thing
Can
falling
we
down.
touch on
her.
that? Because
Yeah.
this.
who was Darlene again?
Darlene's a
mom.
mom.
The mom.
This trailer.
That was lame.
This trailer on here. Can I rotate this?
No, don't do
Well,
that.
this trailer has Darlene dying in the rotating door.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
That's
Look.
weird because that's not even a death.
She gets hooked, and then her head gets squished in the rotating door, and it doesn't happen. I
That
feel
doesn't
like
happen in the movie.
yeah, like
It's okay. I mean, you don't have to see it, but I mean,
gonna
I
look it up
believe
real
you.
quick. I'll
So
look it
that
up.
was the mom.
yeah, the
That
mom.
was-
So it's like
So, but that's not how she died.
I know. I think honestly, I think they filmed these scenes without the whole plot being in line.
Yeah.
That's why Eric is like, that's why they have that scene of him with the septum. That was the first scene they ever pushed out for this movie.
They did. That was the first.
That
That
was
was the
a
first
teaser
teaser
trailer.
Yeah.
So I think they filmed that. Probably they had like some script written. They didn't have it all tied together.
There was in one of the trailers there was a scene of Eric going in front of that bus in the street, and then he actually did get
He does get hit.
And then
And
that's
then
why I'm
it didn't happen
saying
in the movie.
in this,
It
Darlene is
does
getting
not
killed
happen in the movie.
by a scene that's not even in the movie.
So is it just to throw us off, or is it possible when it comes out, say on like 4K or whatever on Blu-ray, there's deleted scenes, and those scenes?
I don't know, because the deleted scene, like Darlene dying, how could that be like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like that
especially
you
if it's
can't
supposed
tie
to go
that in.
order. Yeah. If it's supposed to go in order of like how old they are, like in that instance, it was supposed to be Bobby that was going to die, so it makes no sense
because it's
for
before
Darlene.
they go
Yeah.
in.
Yeah.
So
I don't know.
I think they didn't think it all through, and they
possible.
started shooting a lot of the movie.
Yeah.
That's why
They
they
changed
tried
stuff-
to fix the Eric thing. Oh yeah,
Uh-huh.
he's actually secretly
Yeah,
not related
They do
at
that.
all.
They do that a lot with movies where they come back and they redo a script. They have to do redos on shoots.
Yeah.
I've seen that in movies a lot, where you'll see a trailer. I'm like, that wasn't in the movie.
Yeah.
You
That's
know,
what I'm
because they'll
saying.
do a test screening on it, right? And if it doesn't test well, the studio will go in and they'll go, "No, you need to reshoot this."
Yeah.
Or they'll go, "Hey, there's several horror movies over the years. I think Halloween 2 comes to mind, where they had to go in and shoot shots. They do shots after the movie was basically done because the audience thought it was maybe boring, so they had to go and add in gore or kills. They do that a lot with horror movies.
Yeah.
I'm not saying that's what happened here.
I-
Was it to throw us off?
I don't know.
Like,
I just looked at it. Yeah, it was
you see
a
where
scene.
Darlene,
And that's not how
that
she
doesn't
died.
exist. She
Yeah,
gets
that
like
doesn't
hooked
exist.
to the door and like
then,
pulled
like-
in and squished.
Yeah, her head is
Really?
like.
And there's like all these sparks flying in the air, like.
and that's when they go to
electronic
the
or
hospital
Yeah.
with the revolving door.
Revolving
And it's
door.
funny because right before they go through the revolving door, Bobby, right? That's his name. He like takes a step and it like zooms in on his foot.
Yeah.
And like the door rotating.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like he's about to die. And then he like gets through and he's like,
Yeah.
you know?
Yeah, but like Darlene was like one of
But-
the first people to go in.
Yeah.
And she like just went in and was fine.
Yeah, she was fine.
And then it doesn't
weird.
even show them leaving the hospital.
So
either.
I wonder if it was simply it didn't test well, and they're like, well, maybe it was like, well, the audience wanted her alive longer, and they wanted her to die this way. Like I felt her again.
Her death, too. I didn't really think it was that
Her
crazy.
death was
It
just
was boring.
another squishing thing.
I'm
This is
gonna
what I'm
stay
talking
alive as
about.
long.
Yeah.
Like that's literally what it was.
And
Like,
it was
and like
something
for her
coming
to
down
for her
on
to
her.
live that explosion,
Yeah,
just
like-
to die 3 seconds
right,
later.
I know.
literally, yeah. Her like half of her
Like you
face
see
is
her,
burnt
you
and
see
shit.
her body visibly fly like
Yeah.
20 yards. You
And
know
then
what I
like
mean?
you can like it like cuts to when Charlie's stuck under there and you see her on the ground. Her fucking skin is like smoking.
It's smoking. Yeah,
It's like
and she
and
just
then-
gets up
yeah.
and fucking
no, yeah, it's
hauls
like
the shit
it's
off
like
of
when
him and
it's
then
like
dies.
when, like when Gus walks out and he fixes his tie, but his face is completely
yeah,
Yeah,
melted. You know what I mean?
yeah.
yeah, exactly. Yeah, but I mean, I don't know. I maybe there's a reason they did all of that. I
Yeah,
mean,
I
they
know.
do that with horror movies a lot, where it's like, okay, film something and it doesn't work, and they're like, okay, let's scrap it. It's now a deleted scene or whatever, and we're going to go this route.
I just
But again, how did she die? Something came down and came on top of her.
Like everybody else.
Why?
it's always squished.
It's always a squish thing.
Yeah.
It's
like,
like come
Julia
up with,
squished in the garbage truck.
Yeah.
Right.
Eric
Come-
squished by the MRI machine. You know what I mean? Like it's
the elevator. There was a lot of deaths in the prologue at the beginning where all these people were dying, and they were being squished.
The fucking
The piano.
the piano on the kid,
The
which
piano.
mind you, I was really happy when that kid died because he was
I-
so.
that
it was
kid-
really
that kid-
it was really funny though when he's at the top and he's like, "Oh yeah, of course I'll stop," and then he's like, "Fat ass."
Badass. That was
Yeah,
hella
yeah.
funny. Yeah, he was
How-
annoying.
But
though.
how did he get down?
he
the
was like,
stairs
oh,
fell.
children first with the stairs, and then the
And
part
so
of
the stairs took him
collapsed.
all the way down.
But
They-
no,
the part of the
part of the
stairs.
stairs collapsed, but
I do,
he had
yeah.
gotten past.
But he
that
got
part,
past that
and
part.
then
He
went
kept
down.
going.
So
I
we're
think
to
it's
assume-
probably because he's lighter than like five
Okay.
adults, you know, running
Okay.
down the thing.
Okay. So we just assume he got all the way down. Okay, and then the piano.
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 And oh no, he
The piano
we,
was
we,
deserved.
we know he's gonna die.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was
because he's a
fucking
little
deserved.
dick.
He's a little shithead.
He's a little.
And like he started all of it. If we're gonna think that
Yeah,
the
that's
whole
what-
chain of
the
events,
bad luck.
like the first thing that ever happened, the first start of death coming back, was that movie in the 50s, and then the Final Destination, the first ones that we had come out all that long ago were after that
this.
chain of events.
Yeah.
It was his fault.
Yeah.
It was that little kid
But-
fucking grabbing that
but
goddamn penny.
But again, the penny, we're supposed to believe the penny in a sense was a cause of all these things.
Well,
I don't know.
He
I
did
think-
pick it up from the fountain, and then the guard was
No.
like, "That's bad luck."
Okay.
I think,
But
I
it's
think-
going to stop. The penny is so strong, it's going to stop a fan
Well-
from moving, or it's going to.
I think
These are the things.
it's just like death
again,
is all powerful, so it can contort reality however it wants. I think that's the way it goes. Like that's why it stops the train. Like what the fuck, the penny's gonna hold the track.
Okay.
Right.
You know what I mean? While
Yeah.
the train that probably weighs like 40 tons.
Right.
Oh,
You know
for
what I mean?
sure. For sure.
Like
that's
that's
not gonna
dumb, but I
stop the
think
thing.
that's part of it. Is it's like
Death can
death
warp
being
reality.
all powerful. Death can do whatever
See,
it wants. 'cause
I
it's,
could see.
It's like that demon, Satan, whatever.
And I'm okay. I guess in a sense, like I don't believe the penny is the cause of any of this. I just don't. But the fact that they kept bringing it back, I'm okay with that. My issue is okay. So they build this cool ass this building, right? This tower.
4
this-
months before it's supposed to be
Five.
finished.
It's like 5 months. Okay,
Is
they
that
cut
supposed to be good?
They cut corners.
Right.
I'm on board that. Okay, some bolts are loose, or they didn't use proper glass to
Right.
hold all these people. They didn't test it properly. I'm okay with
The
that.
fucking elevator doors
Bro,
not
the
closing all
first-
the way. Them
Yeah.
having to force
The
the elevator
scene-
shut.
The thing from the chandelier coming down.
Yeah.
Okay, but the penny being the I'm like, okay, whatever.
Well, I mean, no, not necessarily, because the chandelier had already broke and the glass was already chipped. You know,
But the penny-
the penny was the thing that stopped the the flames.
But remember though, yes, the glass had been cracked, but none of the other stuff would have happened if she didn't take the penny. And I'm like, I don't know, man. It's just, I guess maybe I'm splitting hairs here. I'm not sure, man. You know, I agree with some of the stuff you guys say. I can jump on board some of the explanations. And maybe when I see it again, I'm like, okay, you know.
Yeah, I don't.
But it's not going to change that the movie was too long. I didn't care for really any of the characters, honestly.
I liked the little brother.
Charlie.
Did
Charlie,
you?
I thought Charlie was cool.
Honestly, I didn't care.
I thought he
either
was
way.
funny a little bit.
Yeah.
Like when he does his little spin at the end when it was like, do your 360, you know, when he's in his suit. I thought it was funny.
I don't know. I mean, it was just like I wanted to care more for Stephanie, and we should, because she's kind of the main character here.
I didn't
Yeah.
And
have
I
any
just
sympathy for Stephanie the whole time.
no, I didn't.
Just kind of an
I
annoying.
didn't at all. Like for most of them, like none of them, honestly. I just didn't care. And so, I mean, it's an okay movie. Like I'm not going to discourage someone from going to see it. I'm like, if you like the first 5, you're going to like this one.
Right.
Yeah, it's definitely like entertaining.
And I did like
It is
I did like how
entertaining.
they tied in the logs as they
Yeah,
killed Charlie and Stephanie
at the
with
end.
the logs.
That was cool.
I
That
like
was
that.
that was a good
It
squish.
was
That
like a
actually
little
was
cameo
good.
to the
But
other
another
movies.
squish. But another.
It was a
squish.
good squish though. Like and they thought they were chill too. They thought,
they thought it
yeah,
was
we're good. And
Yeah,
Yeah, we're
but that's
good.
how all the movies are, you know. They
Yeah,
think the
yeah.
final character is fine, and then boom, the final character actually does die. You know, so I expected them to die. You know what I mean?
I did too.
I knew they were going to. I liked how they incorporated the logs.
I did too, because I mean, out of all the movies, when I go back through the 6 now, it's really that logging
that
truck.
logging truck is so memorable.
We should rewatch them.
Yeah,
we
that
should.
logging truck for
because-
me is definitely.
Yeah.
Because even before the movie, I don't know about you. I know you haven't been driving a long time, but long enough.
Yeah.
I've been. When I'm on the freeway and I
trust.
see logs, this was before the movie. I still get freaked out.
Yeah, no, not too long ago, I rewatched all the Final Destination movies, and I took a trip up to a cabin with, family, and on the way there, we saw one of those fucking trucks with all the logs in the back, and I was like, oh, fuck no.
And the thing is, when I'm on a freeway, okay, let's say like I drive to Reno, a fair amount of times, and most of the time it's only like a 2-lane freeway. Sometimes it's a little more, 3 or 4,
Yeah.
but there are times where it's only 2 lanes, and then you see these big rigs all the time, these semis. And I don't want to be anywhere near them. I want to go around them as quickly as possible, but then I'm worried they're going to like push me up against the center divide.
almost
And
happened
that was
yesterday.
way before this damn movie, the part 2 came out with
Yeah.
with the logs. So
Yeah, no, I don't.
You know-
and
But
even now though, like the Final Destination Bloodlines, like they have been teasing like the logs and
Yeah,
stuff
yeah, yeah. I
like
was
that.
just gonna say that. They
They
advertised
have.
it.
They
That's
Like they had a
That's good.
truck riding around
That's
with
pretty
like
cool.
bloodlines on the back, and it was like
Yeah.
a log truck.
Yeah.
And that's smart advertising.
Yeah,
It's
that's
really
good.
smart.
That's
That's
good.
smart.
So I
That-
think
if I saw that,
it
I'd
was
be like,
good
yeah, I
that
wanna go see
they
it.
did that advertising, and then in the movie, the final 2 deaths,
Yeah.
like the ones that we thought weren't gonna die, if you haven't watched the
And-
movies,
Yeah.
they did die with the logs.
When they
Like,
leave the
I thought that was
hospital
good.
and almost crash, it's a log truck. And
Yeah,
I feel
it
like a
was.
lot
It
of
was a
people
log
go into
truck
that
when they-
movie, like the whole time they're anticipating the log death.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
logs, yeah.
And they
And then
didn't
they
wait,
see
they
it.
waited until
Yeah.
very last second, and we didn't even know that those logs were on the train.
I
No, not at
also
all.
like
Yeah.
how it just ended. Like they died and it ended.
That's
Yeah.
it.
Straight to the credits. Like
That's
the
it.
logs hit their head, straight to the
Boom.
credits. I thought that was cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think if they try to drag it out more with like
would've been
fucking
worse.
Marty and Jenna's dad or Jenny's, whatever the fuck the bitch's name was.
Oh, the prom date?
Yeah, I
don't
think if
even
they try
remember.
to drag it out with like them screaming and da 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 da,
Yeah, no.
like I would have just been
No,
like, okay.
because it was already too long. It was already too long.
Yeah.
So that was the one thing they did right is just kill them with the logs and be done.
yeah,
And so
Yeah, I think there was a lot of things they could have cut out. Like
Yeah.
I really
like
do.
the scenes of
There-
Jenny, what's his name? Charlie and Stephanie talking.
yeah,
Yeah.
Like in the car. when
I'm
they're,
telling you,
like-
15 or 20 minutes that could have cut out of this movie, and I think it would have made it better.
yeah,
I do.
Yeah.
I do. Instead of trying to trick us with stuff and give us, because if you're going to give us a ton of dialogue, then make me feel for these characters.
Yeah.
Give me some layers or depth to this, and it just none of it worked for me. Okay, she went away to college, and she doesn't really call you.
Yeah.
I mean, okay, but
they
what?
didn't really like. They didn't really touch that much on like her mom.
They didn't.
Like the most that we got was like she left when she was 10, and like the mom when she was still living with the kids, like
Yeah.
was when she had them was like always worried about how they were
Like
gonna
crazy
die,
and shit,
and
Yeah.
then she saw the look that she had growing up on
Yeah.
Stephanie's face, so she left.
Yeah.
Like that was really all, but I couldn't really like feel for her. It
No,
just was like, okay.
I never felt bad
No,
for
yeah.
anybody.
I never
Yeah.
felt bad for her.
We
Except
should
Bobby.
have. We should have felt bad.
With like a situation like that where like your mom abandoned you, like and like left when you were 10, and all you have are bad memories of your mom being like fucking horrible and freaking out on you for everything, not letting you leave the house. There should be enough development in the dialogue and how they go about telling that story that we should feel bad for both of them,
Especially in an
sense.
hour and 50-minute
Right,
movie.
yeah.
Hour and 30 minutes, I can forgive a lot in an hour and a half. I don't need
Yeah,
all
yeah,
of
yeah.
that. I
20
can.
extra minutes.
20 extra minutes, you
No.
you easily could have given us more.
Yeah, like, and I couldn't feel for it when like Stephanie kept touching on how she was a bad mom. Like, oh, thanks, but I don't need a mom. Or
Yeah,
like when she's
yeah.
looking at the pictures and she's like, well, you could have had the real deal, but you didn't want to be a mom. Like, I can't like look at that and be like, oh yeah, she really got her there. Like, because it's like, okay,
Yeah.
like, well, I don't really have any context as to what you're talking about. Not
No,
gonna lie.
none at all.
All
Like,
I know is that she left you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But who's to say that she didn't keep in touch with you?
Yeah.
We don't know that.
We don't.
We don't know if she showed up on birthdays or
Yeah.
if she
Sent
you know,
a card, a
Yeah,
gift
Right.
card.
anything,
I don't
anything.
know.
called you every once in a while. Like,
Yeah.
we don't
And-
know any of these things.
No.
So
And
I
also,
can't.
Charlie doesn't seem to have a problem with the
And
mom
Charlie,
at all.
yeah, Charlie
Yeah,
didn't
he did
understand.
it.
He
You
was
know?
like, oh, just give her a chance, talk to her. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, so I can't really feel all that bad when one sibling is on board with mom, but the other one is like all mad, and
Yeah.
it gives me nothing to work with.
And
Yeah,
it doesn't make
exactly.
it.
Yeah.
It doesn't make it reasonable.
We,
Like,
we need more
It's-
context,
yeah.
and we
Right.
just didn't get it.
We didn't
And
get it.
and they had the opportunity to give it to us,
Right.
and they
They
didn't.
could
I
have
felt
cut out the 20 minutes of talking in the car to explain that.
yes,
You know what I mean?
I felt like the 20 minutes, the extra 20 minutes that they gave us that we did need. If you're going to give it to us, then
Spend
give
it
us
on
all
something
those other
important,
things
yeah.
that we're talking about here.
Like when I just thought it was pointless when Eric was trying to kill Bobby and bring him back to life. Like all of that extra time
Yeah.
where they were like
Yes.
showing the MRI machine and then like, oh, I'm visiting my
Yes,
Nana
yes, that was like
and
a
getting the
20
wheelchair. Like I was
That
like,
was
why
like
are we
20
dragging
minutes.
this out so much? Like
Thank
we
you.
already know like the MRI machine is magnetic.
Yes.
Fucking they have a phone, they have fucking magnet like metal
All the
shit in there.
piercings.
Right. Like
I did
we
think the
already
piercing stuff
know.
was fun.
Piercing's cool.
No, it was cool.
That was funny.
And
like
they
because
know how to
his-
cater
When they
to
finally started like showing the death, we were
Yep.
like, "Fuck yeah!" But
Yep.
the lead up and the,
was-
the
yes.
dragging it out,
Thank
it was
you.
like, "Thank
Yep.
you, we understand the MRI machine's probably going to be how they die." let's get to it, please.
That's what
I think
saying.
We're talking
the
so much
piercings were
about
cool.
like, and then I get it. Like they wanted to have a little comedic relief with the Paco thing, the turtle. I'm sorry. I don't want to sit here and watch fucking 5 minutes of you guys talking about who's going to care about or care
a turtle.
of fucking
Yeah.
Paco.
Who cares?
I don't care.
That's your last.
I
fucking
wanna
thought is
see-
who's gonna take care of my turtle and I'm
Right,
gonna die.
I want to
Like, what
see
the
you
fuck?
guys die. You guys have been dragging it out. I know it's going to happen at this point with the MRI machine. Everything is starting to happen. I understand. They're building it up. We know they're going to die. Show the fucking scene
that's
now.
what I'm saying.
I don't need to see all the extra stuff of you eating the fucking peanut. And then, maybe you're not allergic. Oh, well, you're doing it. You're doing it. Oh, I'm
Like,
trying to grab the EpiPen now.
What was the point of? Oh, you're not. Oh, so you're not allergic?
Right,
Oh, I
and
maybe
then, like,
grew out of it, and then
you know,
10
he's
seconds
trying to
later you
grab
die.
the
Like,
fucking EpiPen, and I'm like, okay, like we know that he's not going to get it. Oh, the turtle.
and then the nurse walks
The
in. She's
nurse
like, "Are you
walks in.
okay?"
Right.
Obviously not.
Like it was just
Yeah.
all these like things that it was like, okay, we get it. Like, can you just show the fucking scene now?
Yeah.
Just
Yeah.
let them die now.
To me, I felt the same with the barbecue scene.
Yeah.
It all drug way too long.
The barbecue, bro. It was so stupid.
just
like
for
them showing
one-
the book,
Yeah.
like the stuff in the book about like the logs, and then showing
The plane.
what's his face, Charlie, and then the plane,
Yeah.
and then the fire on the grill, and then nothing actually happens. Like,
Yeah,
Nothing.
and they
None-
didn't even like
like-
in the
like,
book.
what
they
was the
didn't
point of
even
them
talk about?
Because if
they showed the book for that stuff not to even happen.
I would have been fine with the barbecue stuff if it led to something, right?
Yeah.
So like Eric's on the barbecue and it blows up. Okay, that's a precursor. We know down the road he's gonna burn up. I don't know.
Yeah.
It was none of that.
Right.
It was almost a waste. Like, okay, for a piece of glass and for the dad to get lawnmowered.
Right.
Right?
And, like, that's the
So
thing,
yeah,
it
but
was
what
like,
does the grill even have to do with
Nothing.
That?
Yeah,
It has
and that
nothing
was in
to
the
do with
book.
it.
Point of
That's
the
the
grill
thing. Is like there were
engulfing
so
in
many
flames.
things in the book. Like the grill was in the book, and it was like, okay, we're thinking, oh shit, it's in the book. So fucking Eric's gonna light that
Yeah.
grill. Boom, his face is gonna get fucking smelted.
Something.
Right?
Something.
Nope, not at all.
No,
A
nothing.
fucking piece of glass in.
And he doesn't even die
Right.
that
We
way.
don't even
Like-
know which glass it's in. So we're watching all these people like drink out of the glass. We're like, oh my god. We're
Yeah.
watching fucking Howard chewing
Chew
on
on the
ice,
ice,
thinking
yeah.
it's the glass. We're
Yeah.
like,
We're
oh
watching
my god.
what's
right?
her face, Julia choke.
Right.
Yeah.
On the
Julia
bug.
choking
On
on
the
the
glass. Yeah,
glass.
nothing.
Right. Nope. It was a bug. Like all these things, and
Yep.
then like the fucking rake being under the trampoline. Like the first time I watched it, I'm stressing out. I'm like watching them
Yes,
fucking bounce. And I'm like, the rake is
exactly.
gonna
I
get
think
them.
I think
And-
they try to make it predictable,
Yeah,
and then it
but
ends up
then-
just not making sense, and
But-
like the predictions are like useless.
right.
But this is what I'm talking. This is what I mentioned earlier. Is they're trying to trick us or somehow just I don't know. To me, I felt like none of that was necessary to do.
Yeah.
And from an audience, because we're the audience here, and the three of us have seen this, and we're bitching about the same thing. You know, other people are talking about this.
Yeah.
They're talking about the same. Sure, maybe they're not sitting down and dissecting it like we are, but you know, they probably have the same damn issues.
Right.
You know, we didn't need any of that. Or if you're going to give us that, then that's a precursor for all the ways they're going to die later.
Because none of them died.
None of
like
them-
that
none
at
of them
all.
died that way
And
at
then
all.
like when Stephanie like was at the house when all of the barbecue stuff was happening, and then like the painting or like the picture of them broke, and then she had the shard of glass.
Yeah.
Like, and she was like, like it was
Yeah.
like some realization. Like I was thinking like, oh, okay, maybe the shard of glass that fell in the cup is gonna be something because
Yeah.
now she has a shard of glass that she's
And
seen.
honestly, it was
fucking did
just
nothing.
And then it's just to cut his foot.
Cut his foot. He falls down, and the lawnmower gets him.
Right.
I mean, it's fine. It's a cool death, I guess. It's not like I haven't seen that before, but whatever.
It was
I just
in Sinister.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah.
And I felt like there were other ways they could have done this,
It
and they
wasn't
just
sinister.
didn't. It's almost like
I
they
think
overthought.
I think the movie that I've seen with the most creative deaths is Terrifier.
Oh yeah, and I can't really. I've only seen the first one, so I can't really.
I've seen all of them, and they do pretty creative fucking deaths in that.
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
I feel like,
But
in
over
other
the crazy,
movies,
over the top, almost almost like it doesn't
I feel
make
like
sense.
if you
death,
like
so.
calmed it down, though, like you can still
Yeah.
take the ideas from Terrifier, like the death ideas,
Yeah.
the concepts, and instead of having every fucking character in this movie get fucking squished by something,
Yes,
do
the
something
squish.
different.
Do
You know what
something
I
different.
mean? Like,
and maybe what it is I know these movies, they have to tone stuff down in order to get a specific rating.
Yeah.
So I don't know if this is rated R or if this is rated like
check.
PG-13.
It's R.
It's R. Okay. So it could be that oh, hey, we had these other deaths, but now we just have to squish them because if not, we're going to get like NC-17. I don't know. I don't know.
It's the most popular movie right now.
But, again, it's not a bad movie.
Yeah.
It's entertaining. If you like the other 5, you're going to like this.
Right.
I just was kind of was hoping for more.
I think
if you think about it, hoping for less because you're going to knocked out 20 minutes.
Yeah, like I think if you like the other 5, like you're gonna generally know what happens in this movie. Like you're gonna be able to predict it pretty well, but it'll be entertaining to watch.
It will be entertaining. It will be entertaining.
And then there's some comedic relief in it here and there.
There is, but nothing that like I was like giggling at, like, oh, this is super funny.
Yeah.
Like,
except when like the piercing was coming out of it.
Yeah,
the piercing
was funny. That was
funny and creative. Like,
because like the
we're seeing
nipples
all,
and then the fucking dick piercing.
Yeah,
that was funny.
That was funny. I will say that was funny. Other than that, nothing else landed.
Yeah,
for
but
me.
there was just like little here and there comedic relief. Like when he's like, if I'm gonna go out, I'm not going out on these unsalted bitches. I thought that was kind of funny.
That was funny. I like that.
I wasn't.
I thought that
wasn't funny.
I thought that was funny.
His character, I was confused by that character. I can't explain to you why I was confused, but he didn't make sense to me. I never understood. Was he a jock? Was he not? He just come off.
He seemed like a big idiot.
He was an idiot.
He was like a nice, caring idiot. That's what it seemed
dumb,
like.
But he almost seemed very immature. Like was
naive.
Was not even naive is the word for me. Like, it seemed like he had to be close to 20, but he acted like he was like early teens. It was weird. Like, was
the turtle and shit. Like,
it didn't jive with
like
me.
A big man baby.
Yeah, man baby.
Maybe.
Yeah.
But they didn't explain any of that. Like, was there a reason for that? Why did he come off that way? Even his sweatshirt seemed kind of didn't fit with him.
Yeah, I see what you mean.
I don't know, man.
This movie, Bloodlines, has a higher rating right now than the original one.
Does it? Yeah, I noticed it was like movie. I noticed it was like 7 point something on IMDb. I wouldn't give it a 7. To me, it's still around like a 6.5. But like I said, I'm more critical these days.
Yeah, you are.
I really am, and I'll be the first to say I am. But the thing is this. When I go into these, even though I know I'm doing an episode, I go into it looking to be entertained. I am.
Yeah.
And I'm not going into it going, I'm just going to trash this. I'm not going to like it. I don't do that with any movie. Except for Nosferatu. I thought that was a total piece of shit. I knew it was going to be. Because
it was pretty, though.
It was, yes, it was very...
It was shot very well.
It shot very well. But I knew I wasn't going to like it, and I didn't like it. I actually hated it more than I thought I was going to hate it.
Yeah.
I didn't like it at all.
Yeah. So I understand, though, people that do like it. I get that. But, that's I don't know. That's Bloodlines. And you guys have anything else you want to add? Anything that we forgot about? I don't think so. I think we did a good job on nailing all the key points.
One thing they played at the start, they played to the anxiety really well. Like when she's going to the bathroom and she's like flashing and it's all this like the fire, the glass cracking, the people dancing. I got really, really anxious.
Yeah,
when I first saw
very
it.
Well.
I will. You are right, AJ, on that, because the one thing they do well in this series is they play on the stuff that we've probably thought about could happen. Like I forget which, I think it was the second or third one when the kid's in the dentist and the mouth is open and the thing like, how many times have we been at the dentist and we're like, something could fly in, or there's
that's my biggest fear is the dentist.
They play on our fears quite well.
Yeah.
So I will say, if anything, they do that well.
They do really good.
Yeah.
I think seeing it the second time made it worse.
When
Honestly.
it comes
the first time I saw it, I thought it was better. Yeah, I paid more attention, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Like the first time I was just like, oh, death. Oh, whoa. Like
the second time watching it, it was like
it
I
made
already
it
knew
seem
everything that
shittier.
was gonna happen. And it was very predictable at that point.
Except the first scene. The first scene was still cool. I was still just engaged in the opening part.
That opening was pretty awesome.
But
I will
after
say.
that,
I would say the only scene that I kind of got anxious for again was the MRI scene, because that scene was just so fucking crazy.
It was cool.
Insane.
They didn't need all the dialogue in that room, but the build up of like
Yeah.
the magnets getting stronger.
Yeah,
I thought that was
definitely.
cool. I thought that was
Yeah,
cool.
they
Yeah.
could have
And, like,
had
the
that
light turning
and then cut
on.
out all of the fucking rest of the shit.
They could have.
They could have
I
just
agree.
kept like the power going up and the lights and the thing going on,
and just
him
get to
being
it.
Like, oh, that's
Yeah,
cool.
they could have cut off several
Yeah,
minutes
they
of that. Yeah.
didn't need to have all that
Yeah,
drag out.
yeah, definitely. I agree.
Yeah.
Well, that's Bloodlines, everybody. We good?
I think
I think we
so.
touched on everything.
Yeah, I think so.
Well, thanks for you guys coming on out and talking about this.
Yeah, thanks for having us.
Yeah.
For sure.
fun.
Yeah. Everyone who's listening, take care, and we appreciate you listening. Bye-bye.
Bye.
You listened all the way to the end. We appreciate that. Don't forget to follow us on Instagram at Ear for Fear Podcast, Twitter at Ear for Fear, and subscribe to our YouTube channel at Ear for Fear Podcast. You can also check out our website, earforfear.com. There we list news and events. We're available on all the main platforms, so make sure you tell a friend. We hope you come back and get an earful.